What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Life Project YouTube channel for yet another picks preview and predictions video covering Dana White's Contender Series Season 9, Week 10, the finale of this season. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my friend, the Idol Skatesman at Combat Casual for being a member for 14 months. Holy shit, time has flown since that Sunday Fury stream you first joined us on, my friend. Thank you so much for all the support. Let's get into it, guys. First fight on the card, we have Mario Mingaj against Wes Schultz, Party Time Wes Schultz, who's making his return to Dana White's Contender Series. He fought on last year's card against Mansour Malik and actually held his own for like a round or two. I think he lost in the second round before getting absolutely murked. I know Dana White was impressed with how tough he was. Got another win on the regional scene, and here he is back. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. 7-2 as a pro. 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and that loss did come to Malik in Dana White's Contender Series. 2 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 1 decision. His KO TKOs come primarily, the damage that he does in fights, especially his finishes, not named submissions, come by way of his wrestling, getting into full mount, side control, and just doing a lot of damage. Impressively went 4-1 in LFA. Beat Dustin Pape in his last fight, who was okay, but signature guillotine in the first round. He loves neck chokes. He loves neck ties, guillotines, von flus, arm triangle chokes. That's kind of his thing, where actually his opponent, Mario, very comfortable on his back and loves going for the triangle choke. So 2 grapplers going up against each other here. We'll get into who I think has the striking advantage, but we'll see if it even comes to that. On the regional scene, for the most part, didn't beat the best guys. Beat the guys he was supposed to quite dominantly, though. Lost to Dylan Budka, which, has not aged all well. But again, in moments in this fight on short notice, he looked pretty good. And I would say he's a fun fighter, despite him not being the quickest on his feet. Really strong on the ground and just flowy, for a lack of a better term. Funky style, but gets it done with a mix of his jiu-jitsu, strength, and wrestling, and just likes going for the finish as well. Mario over here, 7-0 as a pro out of Italy. He is the slight underdog in this one. 1 KO TKO, 5 submissions, 1 decisions. Very nasty jiu-jitsu guy. Very comfortable off his back. Loves the triangle chokes, man. 4-0 in Venator Fighting Championship, which is honestly the Italian league that I am most familiar with. And one of the things, that I'm going to say about it is it's not super high level. Like, it's a good feeder league to that of Cage Warriors, or I don't know, that level. It's a feeder league to like the next best regional scene, or the next regional, I guess, level. Has beaten 2 really good guys in his last 2 fights, an undefeated guy in Cage Warriors. What did I say? And a 7-2 guy as well. And again, triangle choke, triangle choke, triangle choke. His last 3 wins in a row have been via triangle choke, and 4 out of his last 5 wins have been via triangle choke, which is absolutely insane. Didn't catch a triangle choke on the amateur scene, though, which is funny. I am going with Wes Schultz here. And I'm going to say this. I, at first, was like, I'm going with Mario. Way more polished jiu-jitsu. And then watched a bunch of both, watched their tape again. And I was like, just because you're not polished doesn't mean, A, you're not good, and B, that you can't necessarily get it done, especially in a matchup where Wes Schultz's lack of speed in the striking department, it's not going to weigh him down here, because even that is better than Mario if he does want to keep it on the feet. He does have some kickboxing experience. I'll explain further why I pick him, but here's just some footage on both of them here as I kind of get into why I picked Schultz. Definitely changed my pick after making the highlight video. Both are grapplers. One likes the von flus and arm triangle chokes. The other, the triangle choke. I do think Mario has more fancy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Barely any striking at all. Thus, not a lot of takedown defense because most guys try to keep it on the feet and strike with him versus take him down and try to smother him. Schultz has strong wrestling, good in the scrambles, really good submission, slow striker, and it ain't great, okay, but he's tough and he's actually fought some amateur kickboxing, which is more than friggin' Mario over here, despite him being undefeated. He's held his own against he held his own more than we expected against Malik on short notice. Decent ground and pound against guys who I'd say at the level that Mario is currently at. Again, striking is not polished, but I do think if it does stay there, he will get the better of his opponent, or at least might throw some wild hooks and a slow spinning heel kick to even set something up or push back Mario. Unless Mario's boxing is out of this world fast and we never knew about it, I just don't believe he wins this one. I don't think he catches Schultz in his signature triangle. This is just not a good matchup for Mario, I don't think. Not to say that Schultz is a world beater at all. I've seen Schultz live a few times at LFA as he is a Midwest guy. I don't believe he's from Minnesota. I think he's Wisconsin. I'll have to double check. But does fight on all the Midwest cards here. Hey, what's up, Funkmaster? Good to see you. What's up, Vulcan? I don't think I added any of the kickboxing stuff. So yeah, as you can see here, like hands just kind of wherever he wants them to be, like not polished at all, but we'll swing for some crazy shit. Whereas Mario would rather butt scoot than throw shots like that. Now again, that's just me being mean, but some good tie and knees there. But yeah, see, like just pushes off the cage to throw a high kick. Like, yeah, whenever he goes up against strikers, just watch his last Dana White Contender Series performance. Again, if you guys want to watch this in full after the show, timestamps are included. I think West Shows is actually pretty long, so I might just skip through this one a little bit here, guys. You can watch the full one. You can watch the full segment. Yeah, some of them are pretty long. Kwon Ills in particular, which I had to edit like 4 or 5 times. Thank you, One Championship. I actually there was surprisingly a lot of footage on West, but like no one else made a compilation, nor did anyone else like break it up into shorter sequences. So I honestly just cut up all the full fights, which none of them were super long. Here we go. Boom! We don't see those often. Some decent takedowns too. You know, we'll finish this one. It's not much longer. Dude, I just still cannot believe that Kwon Il is going to be fighting under the UFC banner today. You guys have no idea. Well, I guess if you've been subscribed to this channel since 1,000 subs, you have an idea. But like, it's been 3 years, 21,000 subscribers later, and our boy Kwon Il's in, well, not quite in the UFC just yet, but I'm nervous. I'd be more nervous if like I actually brought him on the podcast last week and talked to him. There's Schultz getting that rear naked choke. All right, guys, let's get to the next one here. We have Azamat Nuftillaev against Jovan Leka. Azamat 13-1-1, actually has 17 wins, but the fights not listed here weren't considered real fights. The level of competition that this guy's faced throughout his career, I'd say overall is not strong, but there have been sprinkles of really good opponents and sprinkles of good fights. Jovan Leka, I would say, looks a lot more polished in the striking. Looks like he's the better kickboxer, but he hasn't faced great competition either. And it's not like the level of striking, I think, outweighed just the well-roundedness and experience of Azamat. Having said that, Leka has the better gas tank, in my opinion. Kind of starts at a medium level, so doesn't really peak at all, whereas Azamat will go balls to the wall in the beginning, and if he doesn't knock you out, if he doesn't ground and pound you, if he doesn't find the submission, he is going to slow down And the last guy he fought may have been the biggest can I've seen in a long time. It's in the highlights. You guys will be entertained. Surprised that Leka is the favorite. I'm not gonna lie. 10-2 as a pro. I thought the odds would be reversed. So still close. But 10-2 as a pro. 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Only 23, 6 KO, TKO, 3 submission, 1 decision. Now, Azamat definitely has been on the sauce at one point in his career. I mean, that is just my very, very strong opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares here today. But the last guy he beat, okay. Guy that he beat before that, okay. Probably should have beaten Vinikov, and he started out strong, but ended up slowing down early. And 5-0 guy who he knocked out, 10-5 guy. So, like I said, some sprinkles of solid competition, some absolute cans, and I take it back. This guy was not good at all. Wait. Actually, he was pretty good. I got him mixed up with it. He's actually pretty good. So, not bad competition so far for Leka, but nothing world beater by any means. And the guys that he did fight, for the most part, were strikers. This guy was a little bit more well-rounded, but for the most part, were strikers and weren't much of a takedown threat. So, didn't really see much of his takedown defense. Some of the other guys that I said were good on his record here. Santos, Brandao. I thought there was one more guy. This guy was. This was early in his career, and it was a while ago, but it was actually pretty competitive first round, and then he was able to dominate and get the choke in the second round here. But again, a lot of reps, not necessarily the best competition. And this guy, man, I know this was a title fight. It means nothing because this guy was the most out of shape fighter I've ever seen. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, maybe this guy just has like a big overhand right, big country Roy Nelson style. No, it was a farce of a fight, man. So I am maybe swinging a little bit on the underdog here. I just think as far as the matchup goes, and that the fact that this is Dana White Contender Series, I'm just leaning, trusting, banking. And if I was in the corner of Azamat, I'd probably say, let's try to get this guy out here early. Whether you catch him on something coming in, blitzing, sweet, or follow up, take him to the ground, get that ground and pound. Expose the area in his game which isn't the strongest, and that's the ground game because Leka's just been able to dominate guys on the feet and hasn't been challenged too much on the ground. So I am going with Azamat here. Leka, solid pick for you guys who picked him. And if he was the underdog earlier, again, I have no idea when these odds came out. I did my prep late last night. But if you did catch him as an underdog, I think you probably are going... That was probably a good pick. I was going to say you're probably going to get it right, but I hope not because I did pick this guy to win. But anyways, let's take a look at both their highlights so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here, and I'll get into any of my additional notes. And I'll get back to the comments here too. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday? Week 10, bro. The finale. I'm sad. We've been streaming a lot recently. Tuesdays. I think we started streaming on Tuesday in June for freaking The Ultimate Fighter. So, no more Tuesday streams. We are not there yet, buddy. We're not there yet. By the way, I've trained with Sanzar Zakira before Crazy Wrestling Pressure. Oh, nice, dude. That is awesome. Good to see you. What's up, Tyler? Nufti sub incoming plus 650. Like he got subbed in his first fight against a fighter who only had 1 sub in his whole career. I'm there since those days. Kind of, yeah. You were around. You've been around since those days as well. So I am going with Azamat. Experience factor, better grappling, decent striking overall. It's not his bread and butter, but he does have power. He's strong. He's tough. Does gas in fights, though. He needs to get it done early. His opponent, really good kickboxing, the faster striker, good kicks, body kicks, and low kicks. Okay takedown defense, but has not faced the best guys. Has not faced a grappling threat. And as Volkan pointed out, the only jiu-jitsu threat that he faced, even though it was early on in his career, he got subbed. Neither have beaten the best guys overall in their resume, but I'm going with the experience factor here as that important edge. I do think Azamat's a little bit more well-rounded as a just mixed martial artist, but the cardio factor is going to go to his opponent, who you see right here, in my opinion. So there we go. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you. So again, here's some footage on Jovan Leka right now. Don't be confused. This doesn't mean he has great grappling. Way better of a striker. And it's pretty athletic too. Yep, there we go. Right on cue. Wow, didn't plan that. But the guys, I mean, he's got an arm triangle choke. But the guys in which he finishes on the ground, man, he's knocking them down. He's beating them on the feet first. Yeah, we're getting there, Kyle. We're not there yet, buddy. At the 126 mark, was it in the last round or first round? I can't remember. Oh, that was the last round of that fight. I did watch that whole fight, and I'll say the big boy was tough. I thought Leka probably should have finished him in the first round, but he did keep the pressure on him. Oh, yeah, nasty low kicks, but level of competition. There was surprisingly a lot of footage on him too, which is great. All right, do I have anything else on them? No, that's all the notes on these guys. This was a good one. Again, I don't want to say that like his, let's just say jiu-jitsu and his ability to try to snatch submissions or go for them is not there. If he's on the ground, he goes for stuff. It's just he hasn't faced a guy who's based in grappling, wrestling, or really jiu-jitsu. And again, when Volkan, as Volkan pointed out, a guy who like didn't even have jiu-jitsu as a base, mind you, early in his career was able to submit him. Jared Vanderaa lost in freaking Unified, dude. So I don't know why we're talking about Jared Vanderaa. Bro's done. Just giving up. Well, not quite, but pretty much. This guy was tough. He didn't put up a great fight, but he was tough as nails. I think this one's a standing. I think this one's a standing TKO. Yeah. Okay. Towel gets thrown. Anyways, let's get to the next one, guys. Yeah, Jared Vanderaa got hurt bad in a Unified title fight. Unified MMA. Dude, this one should be a lot of fun. Both of these guys are absolute savages. Both these guys are dangerous. And both of these guys have a lot of sick knockouts on their resume. We have Michael Oliveira against Victor Valenzuela. Valenzuela, 12-3 as a pro, 31 years of age, out of Chile, up against Michael Oliveira out of Brazil. An LFA product that they have been developing for a while now, ladies and gentlemen. But let's start with Victor Valenzuela here. Out of MMA Masters, 6 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 4 decision. Has never lost a decision. His only 2 losses, well, I guess 3 losses. Disqualification, submission, and a knockout. 1-0 in LFA, 2-1 in Masters Fighting Championship, and 3-0 in Combate Global. He came into Fury to fight Bruce Whitehead for the title. Bruce Whitehead's pretty good. I would say like an okay striker in higher level regionals, but a better grappler, a better jiu-jitsu guy, but just loves to scrap. He's a beauty. Bruce Whitehead's always fun to watch. Bruce Whitehead actually dropped him or like stunned him early. Then he just like went psycho mode, bit down on his mouthpiece, and absolutely starched Bruce Whitehead. It only lasted like pretty much like, I think it was only like 4 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes-ish, 3 minutes-ish. Fun fight to watch. Go check it out. But that was a really good performance. Beat Dustin Paris, which was a really good performance. Anzai, which was a good win. Brian McDougal, which was a good win. Calvo, which was a good win. I mean, he's honestly been on a crazy good tear right now. Yeah, mixed in with some meh guys in between, but he's been starching them early, which you have to do if you're fed easy competition on the regional scene. Pretty well-rounded, nasty striker, just like in his prime right now, man. In his prime right now, and is on a beautiful 6-fight win streak. Pretty big for the division, but Michael Oliveira is a specimen, ladies and gentlemen. Actually was serving in the military, and that's where his love and first, I guess, relationship with combat sports developed. Was doing like jiu-jitsu and striking sports during his time in the military, like right out of school. I think he was like 18, maybe even earlier in Brazil. I don't know. But I was going through his Instagram. I actually found a lot of his highlights on his Instagram. So that's where I learned about all this. So was always in just like crazy shape. Has always been super disciplined and fought in, I believe it was Jungle Fight or Shuto Brazil early in his career. One Jungle Fight, was able to get out of that fucking contract early because Jungle Fight contracts just are basically shottery at this point. And then basically was just part of LFA Brazil, and they developed him perfectly, man, and gave him really good opponents on the way up. 2-0 guy when he was 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 2-1, 4-1, 7-3. I will say Aldo Pereira, I wish he would have fought someone a little bit better. I don't know if that was like the original booking or not. But he's very good. He used to be a little bit more of a brawler, which now a little bit more technical, a little bit more polished, a little bit more headhunter, picks his shots right, and a lot more tactical than early in his career, where Victor Valenzuela, like, he's just coming to hurt you. He's just coming to brawl. He's just coming to fight. So I would say both of them dangerous, both of them well-rounded, both of them good strikers, and that's where I believe this fight is going to take place the most. Oliveira, probably a little bit more power, but I don't think he's going to brawl Valenzuela, and if he does, I think that's what Victor Valenzuela wants. I think Victor wants to drag him into a brawl, and if he has to take a shot and recover quick, well, we've seen it before. Having said that, Oliveira is an absolute beast, and his finishes are gnarly. Check them out here. Man, this one was tough. This one was tough. I ultimately landed on Oliveira. He is the favorite at -270. I think Valenzuela as an underdog pick is not a bad pick at all. But this guy's just good, man. And he's quick. He's technical. He's got good takedown defense. I mean, this just should be a sick fight, guys. Again, Valenzuela, he's a brawler. He's aggressive, very tough. Oliveira, man, former military, very good boxing, good accuracy, more polished, picks his shots really well, quick hands as well. Valenzuela, good striker, but more well-rounded overall just in MMA. But having said that, Oliveira has such good takedown defense. No one has been able to really impose their will on him yet, jiu-jitsu-wise or grappling-wise. Both have faced some really good competition and each have pretty balanced resumes. I honestly... You guys know I'm not married to my picks like a lot of you guys are, and I don't really gamble much. But I will say, I'll be happy for either of these guys. I think Oliveira gets it. Kinda rooting for Valenzuela just a little bit more because of the way he fights. This is the Whitehead fight, by the way. This is how fun this was in the first round. Oh, man. Poor Bruce. Poor Bruce. Yeah, some kickboxing here for Valenzuela as well. Very light on his feet. Not afraid to throw kicks. Utilizes the tie clinch as well. Oh. All right, let's get back to the chat here. Victor, an average brawler with some heart. No, he's pretty well rounded. Does like to bring the fight to you, though. Yo, what's up, Alpha Zeta? Does like to walk you down. And he's got speed as well. So, like, God, this one just... it should be a lot of fun. This one should be a lot of fun, guys. I'm excited for it. This is actually another really sick card. Almost all of them on paper have been. And honestly, other than, I would say, week 1, which on paper was awesome as well, that's like the only one that really didn't deliver. The rest have been great, man. Yeah, he's fun, man. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Attack, attack, attack. So if you got him as the underdog, he's a fun one too. And I will go over how I rank the underdogs here at the end of the show. And then we will be covering Dana White's Contender Series last week, the finale of Season 9, at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Fighting a guy bigger than him. That inside low kick was nice. All right, let's get to the next one, guys. Let's get to the next one. Marwan Rahiki against Ananias Mulumba. Mulumba, 9-2 as a pro. 4-1 in his last 5 fights up against the undefeated Aussie, who is 6-0. Mulumba, 9-2 as a pro, like I said, 27 years of age, developed in Africa in the AKO promotion. He was one of those guys featured in that documentary or show about them as well. It was, I guess it was kind of like The Ultimate Fighter. I mean, there's so many like sub copycat type of Ultimate Fighter shows out there for smaller promotions. You know, Octagon's done one, Black Combat's done one, there's Russian ones, and AKO did one as well, and he was one of the participants there. 4 KO TKO, 5 submissions, 0 decisions. On paper, looks like he's well-rounded, and he does have experience. He does have a lot of reps, but very much leans on his striking and the guys who he was able to submit. I'll say this. He's further along than a lot of the guys who have developed in Africa and who are fighting on the African scene, like regional scene there, but it's still not great. Like, it's not the level where if he comes to North America, he would still have to like focus on it a little bit more. But he is the best out of a developing talent base there, which is worth mentioning and is a positive. And yeah, he went to Brave. I think he won the tournament, went to Brave, tested himself there, got out grappled and choked out early. Came back to AKO to round out his game a little bit, went back to UAE Warriors, got a submission, mind you, was against someone who was not that great. So, again, on paper, a lot of good, but shining the magnifying glass over it a little bit, you get to see that there's still room for development, but there is a lot of talent there. There is a lot of talent there. Speaking of talent, Marwan Rahiki started in MMA, I believe in 2022 or 2023. So he's not been fighting for that long. He's only 23 years of age. He is the big favorite here, minus 350, undefeated. 5 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 0 decision. Tall, long, great striker, 3-0 in Hex. And has actually fought some really good guys. When he was 2-0, took on a 7-4 guy. 7-3 when he was 4-0, won the belt, defended the belt against a 6-1 guy. It's fun. Hex, Eternal. Did have freaking 6 amateur fights too, going 5-1. Yeah, 2023, April of 2023, he started MMA. man, he's been on an absolute crazy run. And you'd think like a guy who, I don't know, is still this young, both in the sport and literally, that like he's not super polished and that maybe like the big lights might be too bright for him. He seems pretty damn comfortable in his fights here. So I'm going with Rahiki. Mulumba could catch him. Mulumba might surprise us with like just, I guess, his grappling being at a level that maybe I didn't see, but maybe that is better than Rahiki. But I think Rahiki is going to get this done probably by KO TKO at some point, whether it's ground and pound, maybe getting the better in the striking as well. And if this does go to decision, I'm hoping that it's just a fun striking match. Mulumba trying to get into the pocket and landing some shots. Rahiki clinch work, keeping this on the outside. I'm going with Freaky Rahiki here. Here's some highlights of them, and then I'll get back to the chat and go over a few other notes that I have. By the way, guys, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, and then go check out this video that we are leaning on right now as well. Every Monday, I've been posting my Dana White Contender series, fighter highlight, and just tape highlights, and just, I'll just say fighter highlight videos. We will be continuing the series on Monday/Tuesday moving forward with UFC debutants. If there's a UFC card that week and there's guys or gals making their debut, that'll be the new series moving forward. I am going to go with Rahiki. Still very new to MMA, like I said, but so talented, and he's winning. So, and he's looking good while he's doing it. Hits hard, good striking. Grappling does look pretty solid as well. His opponent is dangerous and does hunt the finish, but has not fought the best BJJ skilled guys. But he is very talented and has had a lot of fights, more pro experience. But as we saw there with the 5-1 amateur record of Rahiki, like he's got experience in that cage as well. He's just speed running right now. Johnny saying Oliveira is the prototype for scary welterweight fighter, but he will get bullied and broken by a pace brawler. Hard to break a military bloke yet, right? Hope this card is as good as last week. What's up, Mike V? Def upset alert. Mulumba could pull it out, but man, this card is so hard to pick with these big boys. 100%, Mikey. 100%. Great to see you, Mikey. It should be a fun one, though, man. It should be a fun one. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't too familiar with Rahiki. I don't follow the Aussie scene as much as I should. It's just always on at like the worst time for me. I can cover Japanese MMA because it starts like before 4 a.m., but anything between like 4 and 6, man, it's tough. This is when he won the Hex title. And he's definitely a little bit like, he's filling out a little bit more. Yo, what's up, Hole and Dan Sock? Good to see you. And there's that power. And this for title 2, I guess. And beat down early. Let me know your guys' pick as well. Let me get a poll question up for the rest of the stream, by the way. I got one in mind. Also a reminder, our Dana White Contender Series Fight Companion stream is already up. So if you guys want to go like that, it's already up as well. Don't forget to join us 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, I'm going to ask you guys, best underdog on the card. And I know there's only 4 options here. So if you disagree with any of the options, you're like, nah, dude, you have the 4 wrong guys on there. Just let me know. Let me know in the chat. And if you do want to watch this, because I might skip through some of the guys. I know Kwon 1-0. I put together a lot of tape because I had to edit a fuck ton of it because One Championship doesn't like their content more than like, it's kind of like UFC, more than like a few seconds. So I had to kind of do some schizo editing. So there's a lot of it. And I tried to get as many of the boxing combos in sequence as I could. He is fun to watch. May not be the most polished MMA fighter, but he is fun to watch. All right, there we go. Poll questions up, guys. Best underdog on the card. Juan, Díaz, Mulumba, Valenzuela, Azamat. I'm sure Mario's a good underdog too, but I only got 4 options, chat. I only got 4 options. I'm gonna probably go less on all combo significant strikes. What's up, Trip? Good to see you. No, I'm just gonna send it back to you. Here's Mulumba. Again, this guy that he beat in UAE Wars, not that great. But he's getting reps and he's using it, man. By the way, AKO, very fun league. Is that what you bet? Yes, he will strike his way to those positions as well. All right, let's get to the next one that you guys are bringing up here now in the chat. This is the people's main event. If Freddy Vidal didn't miss weight, he wouldn't even be on this card. He probably would have just got a contract, but he missed weight, so alas. I mean, I'm not complaining that we have an extra fight on the card. I'm just saying this is the people's main event. And I didn't think Dana was going to give out, certainly not on 2 occasions, 2 contracts. I mean, that Michael Aswell Bogdan Grad fight last year, I thought if he didn't give 2 contracts out for that fight, he just never was going to again. Alas, I was wrong. If Dana's in a good mood and the fight is savage, he will hand out 2 contracts. And this one, I'm not saying it will, but fuck, man, this one maybe could, because neither of these guys are going to grapple each other. They might mix it in a round to win the round or show something extra in a round. Both of them have shown that, even in their recent fights. Juan Díaz has been more active, but Juan Díaz hasn't been strapped ball in chain in Chatri Sityadong's freaking basement prison for the last year. So there's that. Juan Díaz, 14-1-1 as a pro, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He's the current Luke's champion, and Luke's is my favorite Mexican league and just one of my favorite regional leagues to watch. It is nonstop violence. Every single time the main card starts, the canvas is just painted in blood from the prelims. It is an unbelievable league, and they have one of the best flyweights on the planet in that league too, in Jorge Calvao. I digress. They have a great champion in Juan Díaz, who has only lost once, ladies and gentlemen. He's primarily a boxer, primarily a striker, has been adding kicks to his arsenal as well. So just a very good MMA striker at this point, but he is very good in the pocket and loves to box. Does utilize his high guard well, and I will say has better striking defense than that of Kwon Won-Il. But Kwon Won-Il will be bigger than him. Kwon Won-Il will be bigger than him. In one championship, he fought at a higher weight class, and he fought guys sometimes who were just absolutely massive, and it's one championship, so they're weigh-ins are just kind of a joke and somehow are easier to manipulate, even though they have a hydration test. But anyways, 7 decisions for him. And I want to highlight that. Volume guy, strong, doesn't have bad grappling when he's on the offense, hasn't really faced many good grapplers overall in his career, guys who just like have a wrestling style first over like either a mixed style or just striking style. So if he is grappling, he's usually leading the pace up against the cage. He's usually shooting a takedown, ground and pound, back up to your feet, and just he's rarely losing the fight, right? He's rarely losing the fight. But I would say if there's any hole in his game is defensive grappling and him fighting a guy who can outpace him and outpressure him, whether that's on the feet or on the ground, like Rodrigo Vera did, which was a very good fight and a step up in competition early in his career. He did lose a grappling match against Dantzler, but Dantzler's fucking sick grappler anyway. So doesn't have the power, I will say, that Kwon Won-Il has in his shots either, and doesn't utilize elbows. Like very much MMA striker and boxer, low kicks, body kicks. Whereas Kwon Won-il will like throw up a couple shots, like a 3-punch combo, duck, and then like spinning elbow you. I would say Kwon Won-il is closer to kickboxer, maybe even Muay Thai than boxer, but they both have a fun, unique, and I guess multifaceted MMA striking style that should make for an absolute fireworks of a match. Kwon Won-il never really leans on his wrestling much, other than to get a takedown late in the fight or just to score a little extra. Or if he hurts his opponent, man, he loves to get into full mount and just lay down the fucking elbows and hammer fists. Kwon Won-il wants to hurt you. He doesn't want to win a fight decision. He wants to fucking hurt you, and he's got some wicked body shots as well. I think he's got like 3 or 4 body shot, maybe it's 2 or 3 body shot TKOs in his career. Pretty boy never die, motherfucker. 14-5 as a pro, 30 years of age. It sucks that half of his 20s were wasted away in a prison in Chatri's basement. It's fucking disgusting. Fucking won championship, absolutely murked part of his career. But he's free, ladies and gentlemen. 12 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 1 decision. Has lost twice via submission and twice via knockout. I'm pretty sure both those fucking knockouts were to Andrade, though, which is his kryptonite. Both were body shots, too. 9, I think both were body shots. Anyways, the second one surely was. 9-5-1. Yeah, body shot, just 42 seconds. Man, it was tough. That one was tough to watch. Before then, beat this guy who's okay. Beat Balak, who's, dude, he was like, could be a weight class above him and was really good. So that was a really good win. Title eliminator fight, lost to Andrade. Put together a 3-fight win streak, lost to Andrade for the title again. Lost to Shoko Sato back when Shoko Sato was like, when Shoko Sato still had speed in his game. Shoko Sato's still a good fighter, just getting up there in age. This is probably like right at the end of Shoko Sato's prime. And had a very long career in one championship. And I want to know, in one championship, the year's one championship was arguably number 2 to the UFC and as good as Bellator. The fights that weren't in one championship, dude, for a Korean fighter, he didn't fight in the lower ranks in Korea. Went over to Deep, Gladiator, Top FC, fucking URCC. Tell me how many Koreans go over to URCC, chat. Hardly any. And then earned his way into one championship. Sucks he was not that active since 2022. Fucking Chatri, man. Fucking Chatri. This is going to be such a sick fight. I'm going with Kwon Won-il, man. I'm going with my boy Kwon Won-il. No bias, I promise. I think Juan Díaz is good. I think this is an amazing matchup. I don't think this is an easy matchup for either of them, to be honest. I'm giving just the striking speed and the power advantage to Kwon Won-il. He was the first one to weigh in, so I don't think the weight cut bothered him much. And his striking defense is not as great as he does like to drop his hands down and like step back, whereas Juan Díaz is a lot more tight. But I'm going Kwon Won-il. What else do I have on these guys? What else do I have? And then I'll get back to the chat here. He is coming in as the favorite. I was a little surprised, but coming in at -175. This is one of the best matchups of the season, one of the best matchups on the card. Kwon Won-il has such good boxing, decent kickboxing, body kicks, low kicks. Diaz is probably good enough to catch some of them, though, so Kwon Won-il does have to be careful there. Not the best grappling or submission defense, but his takedown defense is decent, and he does have okay scrambles to get back up to his feet. The Luke's champ, not a lot of power in comparison to Kwon. Kwon drops guys with body shots. Decent boxer as well, though. Both throw volume. Kwon is a little bigger and longer. Diaz, not well-rounded enough to be a grappling threat in this fight, in my opinion. Hey, I'll eat crow if I'm wrong. And he's not dangerous enough like Andrade to finish Kwon. Man, I still cry watching those. Both are strikers. Kwon, the better of the two, in my opinion. The more dynamic of the two. The more dangerous of the two. Striking defense is not there for Kwon, as he can be a bit lazy. But he's been at the top of one mixed martial arts when they were a deep MMA promotion. So I'm very glad he's out of Chatri prison, and I'm very glad that the UFC are giving him an opportunity here. Win or lose, man, Kwon Won-il is going to have a more active 12 months ahead, and I'm fucking stoked. All right, let's get to the comments here. Over 1.5 rounds. I think so. Unless Kwon fucks him up early. I think this one probably goes the distance. Chaudhry's prison, yes. In his basement, like all the MMA fighters. Kwon's good, but there's a clear durability, physicality issue with him. Still, he could do it. Don't be sad that the Contender series is over. Be happy that it all happened. Absolutely, Mystic. And experience. Yeah, he is susceptible to body shots as well. But I just don't think Díaz has the power to put him out like Andrade. Díaz have any grappling match you think he could go for? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But perhaps. What's up, Blanca? Good to see you. Knowing that it's not the strength of Kwon Wano, like maybe that's his game plan, AT. Let's go, Flamas. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Dude, the rare Fury on Friday that I'm going to have to miss because I'm covering hockey Friday night. We need Fury back on Sunday. Damn NFL. I could care less about the NFL, bro. I want to watch Fury FC, but they're smart. They're smart. Oh, thank you, dude. Blanca, I appreciate that. It's nice to meet you, too. It's nice to meet you, too. Chile and Canada. Yeah, dude. By the way, win or lose, Kwon Wano, he will be coming on the podcast. It may not be next week, but he followed me back on Instagram, and we finally got a dialogue going. Floyd Mayweather's going to be there. Wow. Yeah, it just sucks that during NFL season, they barely do any shows on Sunday. So, I don't know if you guys have been following these highlights. If you want to check them out on your own accord before the card starts and our stream, you can check them out here. He likes to hurt guys, man. But he also likes to put on a show. Pretty boy never die, motherfucker. Drove me now. Anyways, he's been one of my favorite fighters outside the UFC for a long time. I'm not picking with my heart here. I truly think he's the better striker than Díaz. It would surprise me if Díaz tried to out-grapple him. Or just use that as his game plan. Bro, it literally took me an hour to fucking cut up the Kwon Wano shit alone. I think I uploaded 10 different videos, and the last one, ironically, on episode 10, YouTube was like, all right, that's enough fair use. That's enough fair use for us. Dude, do it up, do it up. Are you working that show? Dude, if I am going to make my way down south soon, because I have family down there, so I'll have to go to a show. And buy you a beer, Flamos, after you work the event, of course. Here's one of the body shots from Kwon Wano coming up. That's another thing, too. He is used to fighting in a cage. He's fought in a ring before, but he fought primarily when one was in a cage. One is pretty much only now in a ring because they're at Lupini. Sweet, dude. That'll be fun, Flamos. But yeah, see, so Kwon does leave himself open and drops his hands with those low kicks pretty bad. So again, striking defense. He likes to get into that boxing flow and forget sometimes that guys are as skilled or as quick as him. But fun nonetheless. All right, let's get to the last one here, ladies and gentlemen. We're spoiled with a 6th fight. The return of the late misser of the underdog. Freddy Vidal, who is in one of the more boring fights of the season, but got a submission, so he's being invited back. Freddy Vidal, ladies and gentlemen. The Barbarian, 4-0 as a pro, 31 years of age. Took the last Dana White Contender Series match on short notice, missed by 4 pounds, but still submitted Felipe Franco. He was able to just neutralize his striking, neutralize Franco's grappling, tire him out, get his side slash back, and submit him in the 3rd round. What I like from Freddy Vidal is he does have a good overhand right. He has some good punches on the entry, but he's mostly a wrestler with decent jiu-jitsu. But overall, just green and not polished. Franco was his best win thus far. His opponent, Levi Rodrigues, man, so fucking hard to find tape on this guy. he was probably the guy on the card who I watched the least amount of tape on. 5-0 as a pro. I could only catch his fights, his last 2 fights, and his first fight. So it was tough to see like his development. But I will say he's taken his conditioning seriously, because he was pretty flabby in his first fight, and he was absolutely yoked and shredded in his last 2 fights, especially the one against Alan Ribeiro in LFA. Kind of, I mean, seems pretty well-rounded. Doesn't use his grappling much at all. Is very much more of a striker. His striking is good. I don't want to say it's unpolished. It's just unique. Loves to enter on step-in punches or huge swinging hooks. But I will say his striking defense isn't bad. Does have a good high guard. Does like to take guys down and just beat them up on the ground before getting back up to his feet and doing the same thing. Kind of reminds me of like a poor man's Gilbert Burns, the way he strikes. And on the amateur scene, you can see kickboxing, boxing. In MMA, went 5-0 on the amateur scene, a bunch of knockouts. And in, or as a pro, LFA debut knockout. And his last LFA fight also knockout. So with Levi Rodrigues, like, fuck, I feel like I haven't seen enough of him yet to like know what he is, where he is as a well-rounded mixed martial artist. But he is good, and he's young. 28 years of age. Well, I thought he was actually like 25, but 28 years of age, still pretty young. Has been active this year, which is awesome to see. Yeah, took some time off. That's what it was. Took some time off. There's where his conditioning came in. But was pretty active this year, and I imagine he's going to just continue to fucking go for it. Can win or lose this, I think he's still going to be pretty active. I could see him bouncing back pretty quickly. I mean, barring he gets absolutely starched. I think he's quicker. I think he's stronger. I don't know about the cardio. It's not like Vidal had a lot of great cardio either, but he showed a lot of heart in his fight. On the ground, I've seen more from Freddy Vidal, but like I imagine Rodrigues has got at least some more gas in the tank than Felipe Franco did. So God, this one, I don't trust myself with this one. I'm going Rodrigues. I was very surprised to see that he was the favorite. I guess Vegas, you guys in the bookies, found more footage than me. It took me, I was like 40 minutes in. I found 3 or 4 fights, and I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm done. I've seen enough. I'm going with Baby Monster. I've seen enough of his striking to confidently pick him and say that he's probably going to starch Vidal at some point. He's probably going to catch him at some point. If Vidal can show that heart, show that chadness, stay in it till the 3rd round and get another submission, bro, I'm never picking against Freddy Vidal again. I'm never picking against Freddy Vidal again if that happens. I guess I'm just kind of going with my gut on this one, that Levi Rodrigues is as good as his last fight. And that youth factor, that quickness, and that power should get him the win. Mind you, there's not a lot of footage of Freddy Vidal either, by the way, guys. Sorry for the double overlay. What do I have in my notes here? Takedown, ground and pound, Freddy Vidal. Okay grappling. Pure wrestling. Rodrigues. Pretty good takedowns as well. Decent ground and pound. Grappling, just like in sequences we just haven't seen much, but really good on his feet. Good low kicks. Good strikes on the outside. Very good hooks. And just like, it's just interesting and unique the way he blitzes into the pocket. That's why I said, like, kind of like when Gilbert Burns fell in love with his striking. I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of like a poor man's Gilbert Burns. Both of them love their overhands. Rodrigues loves to follow that up with some crazy hooks. Very good jab as well. In a lot better shape than he was when he started. Not polished overall, but more so than a lot of these guys coming out of these random Brazilian prospects anyways. So I actually liked what I saw in the striking. It was just different, but overall I liked his striking defense. Has not been tested on the ground. Another upset if Levi gasses. Maybe. But here he is here. Yes, this was early Levi Rodrigues. All right, let's get to the comments. Yo, Cody, good to see you, buddy. Let's go. Pretty boy never die, motherfucker. I'm excited because today is the season finale of Dana White Contender Series. My computer will be there. Let's go. What do you think about Freddy Vidal first round TKO? I ain't a fortune teller, but he could land an overhand right. Floyd still trying to be relevant if he wanted publicity. The fight nobody needed, right. But hey, at least we're getting an extra fight. So no complaints. How they got him to fight on Dana White Contender Series is crazy. Dana Pink work. Pretty well been fighting some of the best strikers in the world over at One Championship. Let's go, Pretty Boy. Let's go. I'm glad I'm not the only one glazing fucking Kwon Wanil. Let's fucking go, Cody. Let's fucking go, baby.
That shit beautiful than a motherfucking.
Yeah, he can wrestle in his power. He's slow and kind of sluggish. Baby Monster might actually chin this dude. But I could see Vidal pulling it off too. I think Vidal is either going to pull out like a similar victory he did in his first Dana White Contender Series fight, or he does have a good overhand, but there's not a lot of film on him either. Hey, what's up, Blanca? Yo, thank you for being a member for 4 months, Gio. Trick Paul Díaz and Nuftillaev both gonna win. There you go. Vidal by sub or decision is a sneaky look. You know what's funny? Vidal is fucked, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's funny? Let's get to the underdog portion of this card, where I just kind of rank the underdogs. And I'll show you here. I had that exactly on my notes. I don't know if you can read. You can see it there if you want to screenshot that shit, whatever. So I have all of the underdogs potentially winning. I'll rank my confidence level in them. Mario, medium confidence level. Submission victory. He's coming in at money line plus 155. Azamat, high enough for me to take him. Volkan is high on the submission at plus 650. TKO, perhaps? He's moneyline plus 105. Mulumba, medium level confidence. TKO or decision. He's coming in moneyline plus 275. Juan Díaz, low confidence. Maybe could win a decision. He's coming in moneyline plus 145. And then Freddy Vidal. I wrote medium here, but you know what? I'm talking myself into a low confidence level. Low confidence level, and I wrote anyway, ? Lol. And I still stand by that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the last of the comments here, then I'm going to let you guys go. Check out the predictions video, or not the predictions video, but the highlights video again if you want to see more of these guys. Don't forget to smash the like button on this stream as well. And we'll just do one round of housekeeping notes before we 100% hang up the gloves. I thought about Vidal by KO. He does have a good overhand. Well, good is a stretch. He does have an overhand. Last Longo guy won as a dog. Let's go. Isha, what do you think of the Amazon fight? You can go back and rewind the tape. Mario win by submission is probable. 100%. Triangle choke. Off his back. All right, guys, that is it. I'll get timestamps in the description if you just joined us now in literally 2 minutes. If you're new to the channel, thank you guys for joining. Glad you like it here. Joshua Van is the GOAT. No, the show is over. I will be adding timestamps. Guys, we have been doing Dana White Contender Series preview shows, highlight videos from the athletes as well as fight companions the last 10 weeks. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has joined us. If you're new to the channel, we do 30 plus hours of combat sports coverage every single week, as you guys can see here, and I scroll through it. Japanese MMA, Korean MMA, Mexican MMA, Polish, friggin' Kazakh, everything, ladies and gentlemen, under the sun. Even regional, smaller promotions in the United States as well. We cover it all. Kickboxing, Muay Thai. We haven't done it in a while, but, even some jiu-jitsu every now and then in boxing. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the other content that we post interviews with athletes in different kinds of sports as well, but sports that feature fighting, like hockey. Every Monday and Tuesday, we post fighter highlights. Now that Dana White Contender Series is over, we're going to continue the series, but we're going to focus on UFC debutants. So if there's UFC debutants on a card on Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, expect a video like this, which is basically the same format. I'll switch up the songs, though. Same format as Dana White Contender Series highlight package, just with less fighters usually, debutants on the card. We have a podcast as well in which we interview fighters, ladies and gentlemen. We had KSW star, Cage Warriors legend, Matas Flaminas on the show last, and we had Richie Flaminas, LFA lightweight champion, on the show recently as well. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. I will be posting the schedule probably tomorrow on what we're going to be covering this weekend. Smash that like button and subscribe, and we will see you for the Fight Companion tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Fight Companion tonight. Stream is already up. I will share it here in the chat. I hope to see you guys there. And if you just joined us now, stick around 2 minutes. I will be adding timestamps throughout, or in the comments and in the pin chat, or in the comments and description. Pinned comments and in the description of the video, so you guys can follow along with what you've missed. There's the Fight Companion link. I appreciate you guys. No. I know Victor and Juan or Underdog stay, but that's not important when you're fighting to fulfill your dream. God willing, everything goes, and they will get a contract. I hope Juan loses personally, but I do like him as a fighter. But I want Kwon Wanil to win. I hope they both get contracts. There you go. I think Schultz going to win and Rahiki's going to win. Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all. Always remember,
just because you get more picks right doesn't mean you're better at predictions than me.
Wiser words have never been spoken. See you for the Fight Companion tonight. Peace. Yeah.